समझ नहीं आ रहा अपने सैलरी इंक्रीमेंट का क्या करूं।
बेटा इतना क्या सोच रहा है? अपने म्यूचुअल फंड्स के एसआईपी का टॉप अप करा ले। दिस इज द राइट टाइम।
क्या? समझ में नहीं आया।
बेटा इतना क्या सोच रहा है? अपने म्यूचुअल फंड्स का एसआईपी टॉपअप करा ले। दिस इज द राइट टाइम।
अब समझा।
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme related documents carefully.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi had an interesting conversation with Muhammad Irfan, a student from one of Atal Awasiya Vidyalayas of residential schools in UP that he inaugurated in 2023. The PM was said to be mighty impressed with those schools that the Yogi Adityanath-led government built at a cost of more than 1100 crores for the children of construction workers, laborers, and children orphaned during the COVID-19 pandemic. What do you want to do in life? The Prime Minister asked Irfan. I want to join Yogi Ji's police, said the boy. PM Modi was curious. Yogi Ji's police, why? Irfan said, because he eliminates mafias. The boy happened to be from Gazipur, the place where gangster turned politician, late Mukhtar Ansari, once reigned supreme. The story recounted to me in Lucknow last week came as no surprise. Encounter killings of criminals and the bulldozing of the illegal constructions and houses resonated strongly in the 2022 Assembly election when I was there to cover it. That earned Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath the moniker of Bulldozer Baba. 4 years later, these monikers still figure in public conversations, but the Yogi-led government seems to have moved on. The conversation in the corridors of power in Lucknow today is largely centered on the speed of what they call the Reforms Express, something you might have heard in Nirmala Sitharaman's budget speech also. As I went to meet Chief Minister Yogi at his residence last week, I was expecting him to open up on a host of controversies that I thought could be playing on his mind. For one, University Grants Commission's or UGC's new equity regulations that triggered protests from many Brahmin leaders, especially in UP. Shankaracharya Swami Avimukteswaranand of the Jyotirmath, Uttarakhand, was making headlines again. Besides, there were many juicy political gossips to talk about, like why his deputy Keshav Maurya always seemed so eager to undermine his boss. When Avimukteswaranand, who had earlier attacked PM Modi, started targeting Yogi, Maurya said he bowed at the feet of Bhagavan Shankaracharya, who must not be disrespected. Then there was Yogi's curious choice of Union Home Minister Amit Shah as the chief guest for the UP Day or Uttar Pradesh Divas celebrations in Lucknow. There was so much politics to talk about, but Yogi Adityanath would not hear any of that when I met him. He would talk only about the UP economy, the reforms his government has carried out, and his plans to make the state a $1 trillion economy by 2029-30. It was around 12 lakh crore rupees when he became the chief minister for the first time in 2017. It is estimated to have already tripled to 36 lakh crore rupees today. My interaction with him, with the chief minister, also reminded me of the meeting that I, as a part of a select group of journalists, had with Prime Minister Modi at late Arun Jaitley's residence a few years back. The PM was so enthusiastically talking about his government's schemes and programs, citing figures and stats that our heads were spinning. He would not talk about politics. I asked him whether he had read the book that was stacked right behind him on the bookshelf, Sanjay Baru's The Accidental Prime Minister. The Prime Minister shook his head to say no. I then said that the author was the media advisor to his predecessor, Manmohan Singh. Aren't you thinking of hiring someone for that job? I asked the Prime Minister. And he responded almost innocently, ये media advisor क्या करते हैं जी? What's the role of a media advisor? We were dumbstruck. I could see a few drooping shoulders in that room. His ostentatious naivety had killed many dreams in my fraternity, of course. PM Modi moved on, resuming his talk about his schemes and programs. It went on for well over 2 hours. All these years later, UP CM Yogi Adityanath reminded me of that interaction that we had with the Prime Minister. No politics, only economy, policies, and programs. Both of them obviously love the art and craft of governance. I spent 3 days interacting with senior UP government officials in Lucknow last week. I had done the same about 4 years back, or 3.5 years back in 2022, barely 4 months after Yogi had assumed office for the second time. Even then, signs of change in his approach were getting clear. Then also he seemed to be readying for an image makeover of his government, shifting its entire focus to the economy. 3.5 years later, the results are all there to see. Out of 45 lakh crore rupees worth of investment proposals that came during his tenure, groundbreaking ceremonies for a third of them have already been done for proposals worth about 50 lakh crores. And those for an additional 6 lakh crore are scheduled to be done in a few weeks. That comes to around 50% of the total MOUs fructifying on the ground, which is an outstanding strike rate. While there are new MOUs being inked, for instance, worth around 3 lakh crore on the sidelines of the World Economic Forum meeting at Davos last month, the Yogi government's focus is to get them off the ground. The corridors of power in Lucknow may surprise you today. You can't miss the sense of purpose and urgency when you interact with senior bureaucrats. Yogi has a dashboard to track every department's work. He keeps tracking it constantly. His first calls to his bureaucrats and ministers start around 6 a.m. after he is done with his morning yoga and prayers. Look at what the Yogi-led government has done to make UP the best in the ease of doing business. UP was the top-ranked state in the deregulation phase 1 of the central government's compliance reduction exercise in January 2026. Let me give you a few examples. The government has put in place third-party mechanism for several clearances. It has hired more than 3,000 licensed technical persons to approve building plans, doing away with multiple departmental inspections. It has impaneled 15 government institutes for pollution certification. Fire safety compliances were rationalized through inspections by accredited third parties, basically taking the government off all these things. Apart from the implementation of the labor codes, there are a whole lot of other significant reforms that are changing the investment landscape in UP. The government has allowed nighttime employment of women, including in hazardous sectors. Weekly hour limits have been increased to 10 hours per day. All departmental services were integrated into a single window system, which has been upgraded to Nivesh 3.0, a platform that provides defined service timelines, end-to-end online tracking of the investor's journey from groundbreaking to commercial production. Basically, as officials told me, the ground to make UP a major investment destination has already been laid. The focus now is on bringing more and more investors. At Davos, the UP delegation held 151 meetings with the who's who in the global corporate world. To name a few, Thomas Kurian, CEO of Google Cloud, Caroline Burleson of PepsiCo, Thomas Couturier, Group CSO, Louis Dreyfus Company, and Michelle Stansfield, CEO, Cauldron, among many others. They also held a meeting with Nobel laureate and economist Michael Spence. He advised the UP delegation to focus on innovation led growth. If UP wants to bring world research institutions, it should involve the industries, Spence told them. He is the president and provost of University College London and former dean of Stanford Graduate School of Business. Yogi Adityanath will be heading to Japan and Singapore later this month to woo investors. It will be followed by a visit of 200 CEOs from Japan to Lucknow in August. Essentially, the Hindutva mascot and bulldozer Baba is preparing to head into the election early next year in a new avatar of an economic reformer. He is betting big on aspirational UP to rise above caste considerations to give him a renewed mandate. That's all from me in this episode of Politically Correct. Thanks for watching.